Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teaches English Language. In today's video, we are going to be looking at Edexcel GCSE English Language Paper 2, Section A. This is the third video in a series of 3, focusing entirely on questions 7A and 7B. So if you haven't looked at the videos that take you through questions 1 to 3 and then 4 to 6, do just pause me and then come back to me later once you've read them, because what we are using is the Edexcel Sample Paper on MI6's recruitment drive and then a memoir about code breaking. You can find the link to that paper in the comment section. Now, by this part of the exam, if this was the real thing, you've already answered 6 questions on the paper, including 2 longer essay-style questions, so you should know them quite well. If it's been a while since you looked at those previous videos, do just pause me and have a little reread through of both texts before we get started. Okay, so a quick reminder of the questions. Hopefully you've already viewed my first 2 videos on questions 1, 2 and 3 and then 4, 5 and 6 on the 2 separate texts. The next part of the paper is where you're looking at these 2 texts together, text A and B, 2 questions that are worth 20 marks in total, separated out into 6 and 14. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And just like with the other questions, you're working at 1 minute for 1 mark. So 6 minutes of writing for the 6 marker and 14 minutes of writing for the 14 marker. The assessment objectives are different. In 7A, it's entirely AO1, information retrieval, whereas in 7B, it's more analytical, but more on that as we go through. Let's just take a quick look at the questions for 7A and 7B. So 7A is the 2 texts show the points of view of different spies. What similarities do the spies Nick and Leo share in these texts? Use evidence from both texts to support your answer. So that's your 6 marker. And then 7B, compare how the writers of text 1 and text 2 present their ideas and perspectives about intelligence agency work, writing about ideas and perspectives, how they're presented and how they're similar and different. And of course, they want you to support your answer with detailed reference. So quoting from both. So we're going to start off with 7A, just looking at some top tips. So as I said before, 6 marks, 6 minutes, so not too much writing time. You're only looking for similarities, okay? They don't ask compare and contrast. It's just pointing out the ways that they are the same, but do obviously make sure that you look carefully at the language of the question. Now, this is so important. What they want you to compare or find similarities in is the content. They're not looking for stylistic similarities. So talking about both writers using metaphors, even if both do, it's not going to get you any marks. They want tangible content similarities. That also means that they're not looking for any analysis. Okay, so you don't need to tear those quotations apart or focus in any way on how those similarities are being presented. That's for 7B. Naturally, this is one of the mistakes that a lot of people make, is that they almost use up all of that analysis in 7A and then they think, well, I've got nothing else to write about in 7B. It's similarities only. So make sure you're using textual references from both texts. Make sure it's balanced. And you want to aim for 3 to 4 paragraphs, okay? Or not even paragraphs, 3 to 4 similarities. You're not writing PEA paragraphs here. So it is literally, both of them feel this, quote, quote. They also think this, quote, quote. They also say that, quote, quote. Done. Try for 4, just in case, whilst keeping your eye on the time. So here is something that I see quite regularly. Both writers use rhetorical questions, both use metaphors, both use an engaging tone, speaking to the reader directly. That's all true, but it's going to get you 0 marks. Instead, you want it to look a bit more like this. Both Leo and Nick seem to be quite understated. Nick is described as softly spoken, and Leo is nervous of the girls as he's trying not to stammer. That is content-based. That's your sort of first 2 marks awarded there, and you just need to do a few more. But notice I've written no more than 2 sentences. So you're thinking I'm writing 6 to 8 sentences, just pointing out those similarities with the quotes. So 7A, deceptively easy. People make mistakes by overcomplicating it. So keep it simple, content only, no analysis, no critical terms, just what is the same. 7B, however, I'm not going to tell you any lies, this is a little harder. So that's why it's worth 4 marks, 14 marks. So 14 marks, 14 minutes. Now, in this, you have to make comparisons. You have to address the whole ideas and perspectives part, which is about feelings and ideas, values, and you have to analyse. So they're asking really for quite a lot. And this is the actual mark scheme. This is what they're looking for at top band, so 12 to 14 marks out of 14. And just, I mean, they are asking for a lot. So the response considers a varied and comprehensive range of comparisons. So you've got to be finding, you know, a good few examples. Analysis of writers' ideas and perspectives, including theme, language, and or structure. That's quite handy that it's and or. It's not like with question 3 where you're capped. Okay, so don't feel like you're thinking, oh goodness, I haven't made a structure comment. As long as you're analysing in some form, you can get the marks. And then here, references are balanced across both texts, discriminating, clarifying the points that are made. So make sure that you are dealing with both texts in the same way, with the same weight. When it says discriminating, what it means there is well chosen, so well selected quotations to back up your points. And the better your quotations are, the easier your job is to analyse. So, ideas and perspectives. This is a bit baffling. It's quite a tricky one on the SPIES one because obviously it's a recruitment drive, that first piece. So it's quite different in style to the autobiographical or the memoir of text 2. But one thing to keep in mind when you're trying to deal with ideas and perspectives, it's like attitudes, feelings, and ideas. So try and stay away from the kind of generic, he feels positively, she feels negatively. Try and make sure that you've got a good range of vocabulary. So I've just started here with a range of adjectives to describe emotions. It's just a good thing to have in the back of your mind so that you can say things like, you know, both speakers feel proud of their achievements in, whereas text A suggests someone is determined. In text B, they feel a little bit more nonchalant. Do you see what I mean? So it's how they feel, how they act. The paragraph structure, I've called this the CC. Nice and easy to remember. I mean, essentially, it's a PEA paragraph, but where you're making sure that you're comparing. Okay, so one of the best ways to show that you're hitting that part of the mark scheme is by being comparative from the very beginning. So make sure your topic sentence includes both texts. Then you do evidence and analysis for one of them. Make that link again, comparative, connective, or connecting sentence, evidence, analysis, and do as many of them as you can manage in your 14 minutes. So let's have a little look at one I made earlier. Okay. Both writers present the idea that intelligence agents have to be skilled but understated in their work. In text A, the writer states that MI6 wants motivated problem solvers who do not crave the limelight. The adjective motivated emphasises the self-determination that successful candidates will need. The metaphor of the limelight also hints to the discretion that agents must have, that it's not about attention but the work itself. Similarly, Leo Marx presents a similar tireless determination, but whilst criticising himself in a humorous tone. After 3 days of trying every permutation I could think of, the girls had lost all confidence in me, and I was pleased with their good judgment. The fact that he tries every permutation particularly demonstrates his determination and skill, but his self-deprecating tone reveals that, just like the candidates in the previous text, he's happy to stay in the background. Okay, so model paragraph, you want to smash through a few more of those. I've only done you one so that you've got the opportunity to actually have a practice as well with some of the other ideas. But just to reinforce, here's my comparative topic sentence, so you can see immediately that I'm comparing because I'm saying both. Bear in mind for 7b, you can do differences as well, similarities and differences. Here's my evidence, motivated problem solvers who do not crave the limelight. And then here is my analysis. So note that my analysis is that little bit longer. It's from here to here. Here's my comparative link, similarly. So now I'm moving to the next part. But again, I am demonstrating, I'm making sure that you can see that I'm comparing. Back to another topic sentence. Here's my evidence. And again, my analysis is here. And I've actually just done another little sneaky bit of comparison because I've said just like candidates in the previous text. So again, I'm still kind of comparing. That's what it should look like. It doesn't have to be as long as that. It can be briefer, but do just make sure that you are hitting all of those parts of the mark scheme. That's it from me on paper 2 section A. I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, do just drop me a line in the comments and I will come back to you. We're not done with paper 2 sadly, because we've still got paper 2 section B, which is transactional writing. So do keep an eye out for more videos coming your way. If you haven't subscribed, do click that button and then you will find out when they are ready for you. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Happy revising.